How much you charge?
No, well, it's an agency.
Yeah.
So I get
wait, you're giving all the juice away before we even have a microphone on you, please. Here you are.
Is this the good?
Thank you for coming.
The good pose,
That's
right?
the good posture. Yeah. Usually I get my left leg up here. You get your right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just came from SAT tutoring.
I did.
How many clients do you have?
Sometimes I'll have like 10 students and I'm making, it's great money. And then other times I have like 3.
Ooh, isn't that like comedy a little bit?
Yeah.
Right? You're like one month,
like
you're
I
like,
have uncertainty
rolling
in all areas.
So you're used to it.
I'm very used to it.
But it is good.
And the flexibility is amazing. And I like wanted to run today. You know what I mean? Like I can't just like, it's not like other jobs. Right.
But you have, because you're probably booked like maybe 2 or 3 hours a day with more than one person, or are kids getting more than 1 hour session at a particular time? Yeah.
So I'll have like 2 students max a day.
Oh man. That's a nice little gig.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. It sounds good.
But that's also not my only job because that doesn't pay the bills alone. So I have like other side hustles.
Well, it depends how much you're charging.
Yeah, but because I'm with an agency, I'm not.
They're probably taking a huge
They're keeping
cut.
like a third.
Yeah, you gotta.
Or no, 2/3.
Just go on Facebook and not hack into, but start messaging high school students who go to expensive high schools. Like Avenues, Horseman, an NDA. Right, you're not allowed to talk about it.
And a non-compete.
A non-compete.
It's like the FBI, but more competitive.
Signing a non-compete as an SAT tutor is pretty weird.
I know, but I think it's because there's so many, like, New York, I genuinely, like, my job can only exist in New York City. Like, there's no other place on the planet where there are, I hope none of the parents I are watching this. Guys, I love you. Okay?
No.
But
it makes sense. A lot of kids go ahead, sorry.
There's no, like, other place where there are so many kids trying to get things like this early. Do you know what I mean? Like, even like that, like I've learned, I don't just do SAT, I do like SSAT, ICE, which is another entrance exam for like 4 schools.
Into middle school, right? In
the tri-state, can I swear?
In the tri-state area. I took the ICEs.
You did?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I just was tutoring a student who's like, she's first semester of senior year, and she was showing me like
she goes to private school or public school?
Private school, and she's like one of I've been tutoring her for forever, so we're like close relatively, and she was showing me on her phone. We were just messing around. You know what I mean? I'm a fun tutor.
She opened a Chase bank account or something?
No, she was showing me her Instagram, and there were all these like students from her class who were posting like a baby photo and then the college they're going to, because they all applied early admission. So like there's so many people that don't know where they're going yet, but then I forgot about this. Like the people that get in early who post about it, and they put a baby photo as if it's like it's been this like leading up, like I can't believe I've made it to this journey. And it's like, dude, unless you're like first generation student, like it's not, oh, what a coincidence that you happened to go to the perfect school and had a tutor and did all these things and did the extracurriculars. Oh, Yale. You know what I mean? It's like, it's still an achievement, but it's like, it's not like, oh my God, how did I go from this little baby to like this person who's going to Yale next year?
Now it's out of 2,400, but I suppose
it's now 1,600 again.
Oh, it's
yeah.
So I was in the 2,400 bunch.
Me too.
Okay, so that was only like 5 years then, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
that it was 2,400.
Changed it back, and now they're doing it. Now this is like the most boring.
No, are you kidding me? This has got to be fascinating. Like, when's the last time I even thought about the SATs? This is great.
They're changing it to online now. Like you take it online.
Stop.
Which is so hard.
So you just have to be in a room for like 8 hours.
Yeah, which I'm being a bad tutor about this because I have to like check out what that's going to look like before it starts happening, and I think it's happening now.
What do you mean? Are you
like, because it's like I assign students like homework they do with a pencil.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like it's like I don't have practice tests available to me. It's never been online. We use all old practice tests, and I just like farm those out to all the kids, and they just do them. But now I'm like, what materials are we going to use? Because this is the first year it's ever happened like this. Do you see what I'm saying? So I don't really have materials for...
You don't have online materials, you mean?
No.
Like they're so classically filling out the bubble. Make sure you don't do an X. Fill out the whole bubble. What's the best score that you're dealing with right now as a tutor, if you could talk about it? Like what student has the best score?
Had the best score?
Yeah, and it's at a 1,600,
I had a kid. I have students I like adore.
You tutor mostly private school kids, it sounds like.
Yes. There's a few pro bono kids we get, which is always nice. Anyway, so the point is...
That water's all you, by the way.
So...
Yeah.
Oh, you. So this kid, super bright, super like driven to get good scores, but a little too stressed about it. White kid, very like type A, like very frustrated when he didn't get questions right. And I like tutored him when he already had like, I think he was getting like a 31 on the ACT. It's out of 35. No one ever, I don't think I've seen anyone get a 35. But anyways, but I guess, actually, no, I have. I take that back. So it might have been him actually. But
that would be like, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that would be like getting a 1600, right?
Yeah. So he would like,
that was a stupid question.
He would get, you need my tutoring, it sounds like. I think I have my next client.
Yeah, oh my God, math and reading. I'd rather fucking not make it to tomorrow than have to do that again.
Sometimes they're so depressed about it. And I'm like, God, I'm like the worst part of your day.
But to be honest, if you were, well, maybe when I was 18, I wouldn't appreciate you.
No,
I'd
but
be like,
but
my fucking tutor.
I know there are some people.
But do they know you do stand up or no?
No, I don't. I shared it once with a student, and it was such a mistake because then they were like, she was like, I really want to go to your show, and I was
my gosh, okay. I would have thought it was really cool, by the way. But anyway.
No, sometimes I kind of have to because they'll be like, can you meet at like 9 p.m.? And I'm like, I can't do 9 p.m. I work at night. And then they're like, oh, she's a stripper. Do you know what I mean? So I have to be like, definitely. No, I do stand up. But anyway, so this kid, super, super kind of like,
what do you mean by type A when you said
just like he was just very stressed about his scores and there was no humor there, and I obviously I like to joke around with them, I like to have some fun, make it not a completely painful experience, but he was just like so I was meeting with him when he was already getting like a very good score, but he wanted an even better score, so we would just spend our time getting like nitpicking over like 2 questions he got wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a good situation. One day, I think we were tutoring over Zoom, and I was like trying to explain something to him. I don't know what, he basically just like, he started to raise his voice with me, like get kind of a little bit like rude. And he said something like, he was like, no, I was trying to explain something, and he was speaking at the same time because Zoom is bad for that. And then he goes, no, wait, listen to me. And I was like, I was like quiet for a second, and then I was like, I can't remember what his name was. I was like, Todd, I know you want to get a good score. There's really no reason to raise your voice with me like that, okay? It's not life and death, dude, okay?
And you think he ended up getting a 1600?
I think he ended up getting maybe the highest score ever. I think he got a 35.
Stop! Out of 35, and you just said nobody gets a 35? I think
it's out of 36, and the highest you can get is a 35.
Oh. But you get like a point for writing your name type beat. Yeah. That was always such a dumb fact. I don't think you can get a 36, but I guess if you get, I don't think. Wow.
Someone must.
So did he end up going to a really good school? Hopefully.
I have no idea.
You have no idea?
No, you never know. No.
He didn't even say thank you or anything? That's fucking weird.
No, some of them are like, thank you so much. Like, you're like a surrogate mother to me.
And you were also on Zoom tutoring him? So that was a while ago? Or it just happened that you did a session?
We happened to do a session.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was trapped.
Okay. Well, you know what? You're helping the youth.
I am helping the youth of tomorrow in a very specific way that may not even be relevant to them.
I was going to say, you said the youth of tomorrow, maybe not the youth of 5 years. You know that?
Here's the thing. No, I don't know what that means.
Well, I mean, like, in 5 years, you said it might not be a thing. So you're not helping the youth of 5 years, potentially.
No, I may be obsolete in 2 years.
You might. So raking that. Well, no, on the SAT front, not, other fronts, like your comedy front. You'll be even in a better
the tutoring is what I'm living for right now. That's actually the dream. I do the comedy to pay for the tutoring.
Any like weird situations with like any students have a crush on you or no?
I don't think I'm putting that out there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure you're wearing like, well, it's winter, so you're probably wearing like, sleeves.
I do think about that though sometimes with like with male students. I'm like, I'm not gonna go in with like a tank top,
right? Like cleavage,
a little weird.
That'd be weird.
They're like, I mean, I don't have any, but if I did,
I mean,
even the small amount I have,
you wouldn't.
They probably haven't seen anything.
Bruh. You mean of yours?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying, I don't know what they've seen. I don't know what's,
Right.
Some of them are probably like, I'm going to get fired from my fucking
You're not. You're an independent contractor. All right, let's go back to your time growing up in England.
England? It was very interesting.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. When did you move there and where were you born?
I was born in England. I was born there.
Yeah.
And then I just mispronounced England. I was born there.
How do you pronounce it?
I just went England. Anyway, so I was born there. That's how you actually say it.
Yeah.
I was born there, and then, that continued. I lived there until I was 14, and then my parents. I don't know exactly why they decided this. I really don't know why they decided this, but they were like, "You should go to boarding school." So then I ended up going to boarding school in the U.S. when I was 14, but they stayed
like Hotchkiss,
Boston. No, not yet Boston. Okay. Not any of the big ones, but like just a school, yeah. And then, which I loved it.
So they sent you that when you were a freshman?
I was a freshman, yeah, 14. I was so homesick. It was so crazy. I broke my kneecap the first day of the school year.
Kneecap?
Yeah. It was like really, I
like
had to have
shattered it?
Not shattered, thank God, but they had to like nail it back together with like.
Oh my gosh! Wait, what happened? How?
So we're playing Capture the Flag. And,
on the first day, icebreakers?
Yeah, it was like an icebreaker. It was for the boarding students only. They were like, the day student people left, and they were like, "It's time for the boarders to bond," and we were like, "Yay!" And then our strategy was to run at the other team. We were playing Capture the Flag, run at the other team all in one go. So we kind of just like rushed them, and in that process, someone bumped into me, and I have bad knees because my dad has bad knees, and it popped out, came back in, and it broke.
You dislocated it?
I dislocated it,
and then
it came back in.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Were you playing on grass at least, or
we're at a gym?
In the gym, yeah.
And then I remember we went to the ER, and I got into what's the room where the triage guy, you know, the guy who like, so like in a hospital when you go into the ER or the emergency room, there's like a person who everyone sees, I think, who like assesses how urgent your thing is. So that a person who is having a heart attack can be seen immediately, and the person who has like a thumbnail never gets seen and goes home, right? So that he was like, I go in, he's like, I'm like, oh, my knee really hurts, I dislocated it, whatever. I go, it really hurts when I bend it, which looking back makes sense because it was fucking broken in half, so it was probably, yeah. And he looked at me and he was like, well, then don't bend it. And I was like, dude, I will kill you.
Who did you go to the hospital with, though?
The nurse from the school.
And she didn't think it was that urgent?
No, she thought it was urgent, but you have to see that dude. You can't just like, they don't just.
No, I know, but she didn't speak on your behalf?
I don't know. Maybe she wasn't in the room with me. I don't know. I remember just being like,
so it was pretty swollen or no?
Yeah, it was swollen. And then I spent the first month of school, I just like wasn't in school.
Well, how long did you have to wait in the waiting room then?
I have no, I don't even, I blacked
But a long time.
I don't remember. And then they didn't know it was broken. I was just like walking around in a wheelchair for like a week.
They send you home, no surgery?
Yeah, I think they didn't. And actually, I didn't have, everything was, they took an x-ray and I think it was fine. And then they did an MRI and the MRI came back and they were like, yeah, it's broken. And then I had to get surgery.
Oh man, that must have been terrible. Yeah, and you were homesick, just lying around.
I remember before the surgery, I watched Good Will Hunting, and I remember exactly which moment I got to. It was the bit where they're by the like waterfront, and fucking Robin Williams talking to him, and then they were like, "Okay, you're going out now," and I was like. And then I woke up and I was like, I want to finish this movie. It was really weird.
You woke up with a big cast on your leg after the surgery?
I guess.
Is that what you're referring to?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, you don't remember much about this.
Well, it was 14. Seems like. I have a bad memory.
Right.
And I think I also blacked out a lot of it.
Yeah. You were drinking a lot?
Yeah. Look, made the pain go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
Hitting the tequila
My
ketamine,
parents are liberal, okay?
Where are your parents from that you don't have an accent?
My mom is American. She's from Texas.
And your father?
German.
Okay. Do you have any hint of Asian in you?
No, but everyone asks me that. I know.
I don't want to be.
No, everyone, literally everyone asks me that.
It's like a little bit in the eyes.
I know.
A little bit.
I think my dad has that too.
Like Indonesian?
Maybe we have like. I'm an Indonesian dad I don't know about. I think
Germany and Texas.
My mom got frisky in Indonesia once.
With your dad or no?
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. My dad kind of has the same thing, I think.
No accent? How long did he grow up?
He has an accent.
Yes.
He's German, like
German,
not like American.
But you went to American school in London. No. You came.
No, I went to school near us that was an international school. It had a ton of Americans though.
What's it?
ACS. You know that one?
They have one in New York called Eunice, who I knew like a United Nations International School. I guess that's different.
Yeah,
Wait, but what's the one called?
ACS,
which is American Charter School.
I think American Community School or something.
Okay, and your parents sent you there from what, like kindergarten to 8th grade?
Yeah, probably.
And none of the kids in that school had an accent.
No, everyone had a different accent. Everyone was from somewhere else, and everyone would leave each year.
Like international school.
Yeah, like it was it was a bunch of like people who just have jobs there.
Why did they send you there?
I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't really understand.
Yeah.
I think my mom probably liked the American school system.
Yeah.
And so she was like, "Why don't we do that?" And then it just like worked out that way, and I was there already. They kept me there. But then my brothers, they just were like, "Fuck that." They just sent them to like the British schools. And so then my brothers ended up being really British, and then I ended up being American.
Stop.
It's so weird.
Is it still today like that?
To this day, like I'll go home, and it's like my little brother's like, "Okay, what we doing? What we doing?" And I'm like, I remember when I would come home from school, I'd be like, I was like, Boston was really cold, and they'd be like, "Oh, Boston!" Like they just make fun of me.
How much?
I'm
younger
like an
are they?
exchange student in my own home.
How much younger are they?
One brother's 2 years younger, and then the other one he's 16.
And the 16-year-old has a way more developed accent.
He is the most British of all of us.
Are they going to come to the United States for college?
My brother already did. My middle brother is already here, and he sounds kind of like medium now. Like when he's at home, he sounds more British. When he's here, he sounds American. And then Allie, my little brother, Alex, he's just completely British. Like so, it's so funny. It's like we're a little gradient of British to American. It's really weird.
Why did your parents move to England?
My dad's job.
And they met in Texas?
They met in
Indonesia.
I think it's obvious where they met, okay? She never met him. She was with a guy in Indonesia. She's a single mother, actually. And the German thing I made up to feel better about my situation.
It was a pay for bride situation.
That'd be crazy if I was secretly Indonesian.
Yeah, I would.
What was I gonna say? Wait.
Well, where did they meet?
They met.
And then why did they come here?
They met at Harvard because my mom's a fucking genius. My mom's a genius.
Yes.
She
Harvard
went Harvard, and then Harvard guys, do you know it?
Small
and my dad, small college. I wasn't gonna do that to you, by the way. I wasn't gonna.
Well, I literally would. Yeah, but I would have said. You mean Harvard?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then
I would have gotten it.
And then yeah, my dad was an exchange student for like 6 months.
So they both went to Harvard.
Well, he did an exchange program.
But that was probably it was what, equally impressive?
I mean, I guess so.
Okay, so he was in Germany, came to Harvard for an exchange program.
She was there. They met, and then he moved back. I recently found out that they were only ever really living together. No, they didn't live together until they got married, which is crazy. And they are now separated.
Ooh,
so.
But then again, I feel like everyone's
if they're not separated,
there's
they're about
something
to
wrong.
Be.
Yeah, like,
there's not.
Yeah, or they're not using dating apps, right?
It's like the couples who post on Instagram.
What about them?
It's like there might be something wrong.
So last episode, I was talking with Olga how a lot of people did these year in reviews, like 2023, and then they post all the photos, maybe videos. I was talking about how some of the people that I follow, they have a significant other, or maybe they're engaged, and then that person didn't make it to the collage until like the last photo or the 9th photo.
That
and then
does say something.
And then you look at some people who are together in other fields or whatever. If you follow other people, either the first photo or second photo or third photo, so looking a little sus.
But also, is it crazy that I feel like I don't take tons of pictures? Like if I'm dating someone, I'm not going to take pictures of you constantly. I'm just like with you.
Right. But I think if you post them at the end, it's bad.
Okay, yeah,
it's either don't post them or don't post them at the end.
Yeah. I'm just saying I might not have enough pictures because I don't take pictures. You see what I'm saying?
And you would also probably have to niche that specific collage, right? Like you'd have to put only pictures of comedy. Like you couldn't put pictures of your friends. Like
when I go through my camera roll, it's so depressing.
Why?
Because I don't film my sets even. And that's what I'm doing constantly.
What was interesting that I noticed about you? We've talked about it. I was like, you just eat like right before you go on stage and then you go kill? It's interesting.
Yeah, I do that.
So
I like
you kill before you go on stage and then
I crush the burger, crush the audience every time. I ate a huge bowl of lentils before I came down here.
I love lentils, but I'm also impressed.
After, to be honest.
You're quick with it though. Like it doesn't affect you at all.
It doesn't affect me. I actually have to eat, because if I don't eat, I'll be like, the stomach is the center of your soul. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, if I'm hungry, how am I going to make other people laugh when I'm like thinking about food and feeling weak?
Well, the thought is that your brain is more dialed if it doesn't have to focus on the energy in your stomach.
Yo, imagine how good I could be at comedy if I didn't stuff my face before I went on stage.
Just fasted, the entire day.
I don't think that'd be good for me.
And it's person to person. You know what I mean? That's the same thing with everything. Like this guy who's talking about lifting weights who came up on my TikTok, Mike Meltzer, I think was his name. He's talking about how you should be working out like 3 or 4 days a week, hard, like as much weight as you could possibly lift for like 30 minutes. And then other people talk about, oh, you got to do light weights, 100 reps. So it's just person to person.
If I worked out every single day, I think I would be exhausted. But actually, but you know what?
You might be.
Right?
You might be.
Ben Moore, the comic, he's so fucking funny. He and I were talking, he started working out. he was like, I started working out on the exercise bike, and then it's like I get to do the rest of my day and I'm falling asleep. That's how I feel sometimes. That's gotten better. I think working out more, you kind of like stop doing that. But I think when you start working out like consistently, it's like,
just get tired.
Am I just gonna be tired for the rest of my day?
Well, but also if you just start working out, chances are your day is, except for besides the workout, your day after the workout was the same as it was before your workout. Like maybe you're eating poorly, you're drinking too much, or you're smoking too much weed. There are also those parts of like working out and getting healthy that you got to drop.
Well, I'm perfect.
You know what I'm saying? That's true. Yes.
And I do everything perfectly. Right. And I'm telling you, I was being very healthy in general. Except for the crack.
But I saw you eat a pizza right before you went on.
That's got tomatoes in it. That's true. Tomatoes.
That's vegetables.
Pizza is not as bad for you as I think people think it is.
No, I don't think so either. But I was just impressed when I saw you literally licking your fingers as you went on stage.
People do those documentaries where it's like, it's like, I got 5 spots tonight. Like let's go to all of them or whatever.
And me, it's just like,
they're like, is this a food review?
Yeah.
or a documentary?
That's hilarious. What were we talking about that we got to that point?
So British Brothers, American.
Yeah.
What were you talking about after that? What were you saying? I've tried to do jokes about this shit and I just can't make it funny.
Well, you have a good British accent yourself, right?
Yeah, I can.
Do you have a lot of friends who are British? Like when you went over,
I have a good amount.
When you went to London, were you there for New Year's, right?
So I ended up not being in England. I know. Here's what happened. My dad, my mom, they separated.
Yeah.
And now my dad lives in France. Because he's just like this like traveling man.
Ooh, yeah.
He's
See, I was lost in ear. Ow. Oh God. You go ahead. I was like, shake my thing. Yeah, they're dangerous.
Yo, you know what's interesting about these though?
What?
Is that they do make me feel more professional. Yeah. Like I feel like my voice is better.
Am I like into Right. Am I like inside your head or what?
Yeah. I'm here. In a good way.
Here I am.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah. I think I'm just going to start wearing these all the time.
Just strictly wear headphones. It's also nice to like also not wear them because then we're just having like a full combo without like hearing the thought. But I don't know. I guess I just do both. I just get in the zone.
I like it.
Yes.
Anyways, what was that?
The Globetrotter
man.
Yes.
So I went and was with him for a bit.
Oh, you were in France for like a week.
Yeah. So I didn't do any comedy. I'm going to go back. I want to go back to England and actually do stand up. And I keep saying I'm going to do it and then I don't do it.
Well, you started here.
I started here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you go to college? I can't believe we haven't touched this.
Do you know where that is?
Arnard. Yeah. I had an ex-girlfriend who went there.
Oh, really?
So I went up there like 2 times.
Was she super feminist?
No.
Cool.
But maybe some people who like she was tight with were.
There's some like, when I got there, I looked around, I was like, this is not my place. Not that I'm not a feminist, but there were some people there who are just like, they don't have a sense of humor about anything because they're just very, type A again, I'm just overusing this word, but very type A. Yelling at me on Zoom is what they were doing. Yeah. They were just very like, just like all about grades. And I was just like, this is not fun. And then it got better. Then I found people that were good.
And you got into comedy while you were in school?
Yeah, I did sketch comedy there. And then I did stand up once I left. I graduated and I was like, what the hell am I going to do with myself? Yeah. And then my friend from high school, happened to be doing comedy. Nico Catania, shout out. And then, who you probably know, maybe not. He was doing mics and he was like, you should do them, you're funny. And I was like, I should do that.
Where did you move after college?
I was Barnard is in New York.
No, I know.
So then I just stayed.
Yeah, it's all the way up there. You stayed kind of in that area?
Yeah.
Like
I was already living in an
120th?
apartment. Yeah. I was living in an apartment, but like with a rent deal because of the pandemic, because of COVID, but graduated like 2021. So like COVID times.
College gave you that deal or no?
No. But it was just pandemic rent times. So we moved into this apartment for the last year of school.
Yeah.
And then I just stayed there because I was like, why not?
How did you feel about you were in college during that time? Like you were a senior at that time? Did you feel like it was a scam or what?
It was such a scam. It was so depressing. It was really bad.
Did you think about going home or what?
Yes, but...
Did you have to stay in an apartment
I stayed
with your roommate, and it was just like 2 beds next to each other?
No, so we had to move out. Like they told us we had to leave. Like when shit hit the fan, they were like, everyone's going out.
Yeah.
And we were like, no. My boyfriend at the time was like, he was like, why don't we just stay? Because if you had like a pressing reason, like, I don't know, like your family's abusive or you don't have whatever, they would like for specific select students or like students who, I don't know, like are from, let's say they're from China and they were like, I literally can't do classes on Zoom and like this time difference is crazy. I can't do it. Those students were allowed to stay.
Wait, what do you mean? What if they couldn't do that because of the time difference?
Because we continue classes online.
Yeah.
But people had to move out of the dorms.
Right.
So basically,
they would let the Chinese kids stay in the apartment?
They were letting them stay because that way...
After they created a virus?
I knew that was coming. I was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so then my boyfriend, who was British...
we should say he.
Yeah. Oh no, the phone's
Is that your
going.
phone?
No, I don't have that.
I thought I had my phone on silent.
I would never have that good of a ring on my phone. My ring is like meh, meh, meh. So he was like,
you met him where?
At school. And he was like,
all girls school?
No, at Columbia. He went to Columbia.
Go ahead.
He was, I thought he was a man. Turns out he was a woman.
Yeah.
Not good of a read. Not a good read on these things. Anyway, I don't see gender. So he goes, so he was like, we should stay. This was crazy. He was like, we should stay here so we don't have to go back home.
But you were living in the dorm at this point.
Yeah, we were both living in the dorm. Everyone told us to get out.
And you had a roommate in the dorm.
Yes, but all had to leave. Everyone was leaving. And he was like, why don't we, like us two, why don't we stay here so we don't have to leave? Because we didn't understand how bad no one understood how bad the situation was getting. Everyone was like, do I have to leave? So then my mom called me and was like, you have to get the fuck out of there. You're coming home. I don't want to hear it. So I came home and he stayed, which ended up being like such a bad idea. Like he was going insane living by himself in these dorms because there was no one there. There were like 5 students on campus and no one was allowed to like breathe or see or touch each other. Do you know what I mean? It was just like complete isolation.
What was his excuse for staying?
I don't know. I think it was the time difference for London, which is really not that bad. I don't know how he made it up. And I would me and his best friend would FaceTime him and be like, dude, you gotta come back. Just come back to London, please.
Why would he not go back to London though, especially if you were there?
Honestly, I don't know, dude. But eventually he did, and it was fine. But it was just like this weird, it was such a weird, the whole thing was so weird. Yeah. And then we were on Zoom and it was kind of miserable.
But you graduated.
But I graduated.
On Zoom? Do you wear like a little
Zoom.
hat
yeah,
on
there was
Zoom?
a Zoom. I technically graduated. We sat on our couch and watched the commencement speech and had like our stuff on, our like regalia.
Oh
shit.
Man, that's sad.
It was
Who was
so
the speaker?
depressing.
Do you remember? Does it sound like what? It was like the chancellor or whatever?
It was God damn it. It was someone really cool.
Oh.
It was Amanpour, I think. You know,
no.
CNN woman.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Iranian CNN woman. I think she's Iranian. I hope that's true.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she's some sort of All right. She's very cool. She gave a speech. It was cool. That was cool, but it was like the rest. I mean, we made do. You know, could have been worse. It was fine. And now that I'm out of college, I'm like it. You know, it wasn't as big of a deal. In the moment, it was like, oh man, like I don't get my college experience. But now I'm like, honestly, like comedy, it's like comedy's so fun. It doesn't really matter.
And also, comedy and college are kind of the same things. You know.
I mean, yeah, because I get to see so many people all the time. But there's such a community comedy that's almost like, it's fine. Like
you see different people every night.
Every night, but I also get to see the same people that I really like. It's just like, it's good. So my life is I'm doing what I want now. So it's almost like whatever. I think if you went into a 9-to-5 that you hate, you're probably like, fuck, we should have had a graduation. But I'm like, whatever.
Do you miss London?
Sometimes. It's so crazy how when I first got to the US, I was like, wow, it is so big here. Like I couldn't even wrap my head around it. Because like it's like you drive an hour and you're in France. And then you drive another hour, you're in Belgium. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is insane. It's so cool. It's very cool.
But you have been to a lot of countries, you were saying?
Yeah, not a lot of Eastern European countries, which is pretty hilarious. It's pretty stereotypical of me. But I've been to like France, Germany, obviously.
Wait, why is that stereotypical?
Because like Western Europeans are like the rich. You know what I mean? Western Europe is the rich part of Europe. Yes. So I think it's a little stereotypical that like, you know what I mean? It's almost like a New Yorker not going
like
to...
a Manhattan person not going to Brooklyn.
Yeah, exactly.
Brooklyn person not going to Queens.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, I've been to like a lot of Western European countries, but not really anywhere in the East.
What's a big difference between London and New York, considering everyone seems to think that they are somewhat similar?
The difference?
Yeah.
Well, I think definitely London is more classy for sure.
Really?
Oh my God.
Right. They have like tea and shit.
1000%.
And those like
just
sandwiches.
Also like the cleanliness. I mean, I guess it depends where you are, but the city is objectively cleaner and the buildings are, I think, more beautiful because
in London?
Yeah, because they're also old buildings. Sorry, guys. Sorry, my
fellow architects.
Sorry, the architects. Sorry, the New
Tube
York.
is nice.
The Tube is great. I'm a big fan of London, but the weather is crap. That's the part, because here, at least in the winter, we have sunny days.
Definitely.
But in England, it's just rain and cold.
Yeah. I'd say we have a good amount of sunny days too.
We really do.
And it depends where you are in Manhattan. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, chances are you might just spend a lot of time in the middle of the island. Like on a random day that you think is gloomy and you're just in the middle of the island, and then you go over to like the east side or west side. Like you see like, oh, it's actually a really sunny day today.
No, Fidei gets no sun.
Yeah.
I could never live in Fidei.
There are so many buildings per capita or whatever the shit they call it. It's crazy.
And they're just like, they're so big.
Yeah.
And you can't, it's just crazy.
Like Wall Street, everything's all
like dark.
Tight and compact. You got to go over to the Freedom Towers-ish. And then that's where you start getting sun when you're down there.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, that's what I like London for those things, but I do not, the weather is real depressing.
Is it warmer than New York or no?
No.
Same?
No. Oh, you know what? I think it's about the same in temperature. I would say that it gets colder here, but it also gets warmer here. There's more extremes, right? Yeah. But England, it's just so miserable.
And everything's in that weird currency that you guys use, pounds.
Quid.
You know, quid.
5 quid.
But yeah, I think, going back to what you said, the architecture is actually kind of chill sometimes. I enjoy it.
In New York, you mean?
No, in London. But yes, in New York,
it's like an older buildings, so I just think it's like a little more naturally beautiful, just automatically, whereas New York, it's like a lot of like skyscrapers, which, if that's your thing, sorry, okay? But there's just a lot of old, I like the old buildings.
What kind of person do you think that you became because you went to boarding school so young, being away from your parents for 4 years and then 8 years?
I think I became more independent faster, probably. I don't know. Probably. I think. It also made me, I don't know that I would have gone to college in the US had I not been in boarding school in the US, and had I not gone to college in Manhattan, I don't think I would be doing comedy.
If you went to high school in
the UK,
do you think a lot of people stay over there in Europe?
Definitely.
Where do people even go?
No one's paying. Why would they pay for more
free?
Expensive?
Or it just costs way less.
Way less, dude. Like way less. Although now it's funny because sometimes they'll protest it, but it's like 20,000. I may be totally wrong. Sorry, the UK fans watching this right now, but I think it's like 20,000, like a semester, maybe, or a year.
Where?
In England.
Okay, that's basically
it's 20,000. Yeah, it's like half. Yeah. It might be even less than that, actually. Maybe it's, I don't remember. Anyways, the point being that like they were like, they were protesting it being like 12,000, for example, let's say. And it's just like, it's so insane. The US is just like, It's crazy.
Yeah, way more than that. Especially like in the last 10 years. It just keeps going higher and higher.
And then they ask for money, and it's like, what?
Oh, you mean like endowments?
What are you using the money from before for?
I think just investing. Everyone's just trying to line them pockets. Can you blame them? Yeah, I guess you could blame them if you're working for a freaking
I mean, it's
university.
like, but why are you emailing me about more money?
My high school's done that a little bit. But I'm like, bruh, give me some time. Or stop emailing me.
Give me some time. But also, I want to see what you're using the money
Oh my gosh.
Can
you imagine?
I'd love to see that.
They give you breakdown every year. They're like 600 mil. Nothing.
Yacht.
400 mil. Also
Standing
nothing.
in the sun.
Yes. New books for the library that no one's ever gone to.
New books for
Or that's
me.
not true. I spent a lot of time in the library. I imagine you did
really?
too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's when you kind of, there was like a cool bonding experience. Like, yo, you hitting the prairie tonight?
Yeah.
That was actually nice.
College, actually, I have a theory. I was going to turn this into
I went to UConn, by the way.
UConn?
Which was kind of close to Barnard. Not really. But anyway, yeah, what's your theory?
Okay, here's my theory.
More suburban.
Here's my theory. Yes. Is that I think college is just like, if you go to a liberal arts college and you like are, let's say you're doing humanities. What did you study in college?
Journalism.
Ooh.
So I had my own show.
A reporter. Yeah. Did you really?
Literally, I wore like a little suit. Yeah, I did.
Can I get a piece of that? Yeah, here you go. Oh, cool. Oh, yes. Oh, all right. See you later, man. Thanks. Nice. Hey, man. Nice hat. Nice hat. Thank you. Cool. Look at the American flag. Cool. Umbrella. Why aren't you using the umbrella?
No, you did
the
not.
The UConn Tonight Show. Way to go.
Did you do jokes on it?
Yeah. I did Man on the Street stuff.
Oh my God. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And then was that how you got into stand-up? Because you were like, I'm so...
I got into improv first. And then the pandemic made me fully switch to like not really doing any improv to doing way more stand-up.
That makes sense. I love the lone wolfness of stand-up. You can just do your own thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice.
I thought I was going to like improv way more, but then started doing stand-up way more full-time. I like it better. It's like you're out there all alone.
Just out there all alone, but you also, there's people you can hang out with. You know what I mean? You're not alone.
Yeah, like improv, you have to hang out with that same group of like 6 squidge people. Squidge meeting, like, you know, weird. Yeah.
Was everyone weird?
They were normal. I mean, like stand-up people I think are more normal, or they are better at faking it than people who are like in improv groups, you know, like people in improv groups are always like fucking singing and shit and dancing.
I think I would enjoy that.
Because they just went to maybe like more performing arts, when stand-up is just like, maybe the cooler kids. Potentially, but also weirdos.
Well, it's like, I feel like stand-up is also more like, what are your thoughts? And like, an improv is like, I'm a badger.
Yes.
You are a?
You're from London, right? Wisconsin.
I'm a London badger.
Yeah.
Stand-up is like, oh, what's your take on society?
I'm a badger. It's wild. Yeah. Yes, and you're good looking badger. It's wild.
Yeah, I like improv.
Stand-up, stand-up is just more your own thoughts.
Yeah, so that's probably
more crafted too.
Yeah, so
you have like a more like a narrow kind of thing.
Yeah.
To talk about, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, wait, what were we talking about just now?
We were talking about improv and stand-up.
Improv, stand-up. Wait, but we were said something. I can't remember. Anyways, I wanted to. Your TV show.
Yeah.
Your fucking journalism.
Let's go.
Oh, this is my theory. My theory about colleges, in liberal arts, if you do humanities, because of course if you do like fucking engineering, that makes sense because you go into an engineering job, so I can see the progression. But
wait, time out though. But they don't have liberal arts colleges engineering courses, do they? Or like majors?
Oh, I guess they don't. So I guess liberal arts is fine then. Okay, so liberal arts.
Good call by me.
Thank you. Oh my God. Okay, you don't need my tutoring anymore. I decided you don't need it.
Oh, Mr. 1600, they call me in the ballpark. You test
it out conversationally. Okay, so predicted score 1600.
Actually,
so you're so happy for the rest of the day.
Your theory.
My theory is that liberal arts college is literally just like, hey, pick a thing, pick one thing. Now do it even when you don't want to.
Bro, that's life.
And that's life. And that's life. And that's why they do it. It's like, because I went to go visit my brother and his friend was like, oh, I don't know. I think I'm going to major in Spanish or whatever.
Oh my God.
And or something like
Harvard?
that. And I was like, no, my brother. No. He went to Harvard. And I just was kind of like, this doesn't matter actually. Like if you're liberal, like it matters in the sense that it's like you're showing up to do work, which is a good skill for life, but you're not gonna take what you took from your Spanish major and then like go do that in fucking wherever at fucking T-Mobile or wherever you end up working.
But at the time, I believe that us younger minded kids who were like 19, 20 years old, we think that making the decision right there will affect the rest of our lives.
Yes.
Which maybe it could, but it ultimately doesn't.
It could or it won't.
It just sets in place habits that you will need to
yes.
do other places in the future. You know what I'm saying? Sorry.
It's like do a thing, pick a one thing, do it. And then that's a runway to doing it in life.
But you know what's messed up? Nobody ever thinks like do the thing that you like as a college major.
Yes, actually, I was.
What
so
you were a humanitarian?
I did. I did history.
History, and you love history.
I love history.
That's cool. But what's maybe a unique history fact that you know that other people wouldn't know, being outside of the history? Like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Oh God.
Yeah, like every day.
Dude, I don't know. A random history fact?
But that's not. Yeah, come on. You should have.
Okay, this is my.
Go ahead.
Okay.
A battle that you liked. Maybe
I didn't
the Bulge.
realize the Battle of the Bulge. That's like some weird history porn mashup.
You've heard of the Battle of the Bulge, right?
Bulge?
Yeah, isn't that
BULGE?
You never heard of this? Stop. History major. I swear. No.
Battle of the BULGE is what you're saying.
Yes.
Look it up.
Battle of. You thought I was just
you're
like making a sexual
You're like
comment?
the person who has to look it up and also be.
No, well, we have him over there. He's not doing much, this guy. Hey. Oh my God. Yes. Look, Battle of the Bulge. I'm the history major now.
God, yeah, no, you really are.
Oh, wait, can you read the Wikipedia then?
Okay, it says the Bulge. Why would you name it the Bulge?
It was just a random guy who put in the Wikipedia entry.
Hey guys, how about the Bulge? Really guys, I got a good name for that battle that happened last week. We'll name it after my cock. We'll name it after that thing that happens. You know when you can see my
you know in the morning. So it was legit.
Okay, so
you getting the deets?
The Battle of the Bulge, also known as the Ardennes Offensive, way better name.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that.
See, if you'd said Ardennes Offensive, I would have known what you were talking about.
Actually,
no, I'm kidding. Was a major German offensive campaign. I should know this.
Yes.
On the Western Front during World War II. Okay. I swear I studied that too. It was a total surprise attack on the morning of 16th of December 1944 due to this is interesting.
So it's legit.
So it's a legit. That's a real thing.
Okay, you got to study this battle then.
Yeah, dude, I did not know that.
Interesting. So what's a battle or something?
My favorite thing I ever learned about was American colonialism in Latin America, because I just didn't know that existed. It was such a bummer. No, it is a bummer. It is a bummer. I know it's a bummer, but it was like, for me, I didn't know that happened.
What?
And I was
Can
just
you
like,
explain that?
Okay, so like,
I hear
for
what
example,
you're saying, but
this is like sad, but it's also kind of just like, oh my God, I can't believe that even happened. So in Guatemala, and I'm going to butcher some of this history because I don't remember all of it. In Guatemala, it was all like the land was being used for the United Fruit Company, which ended up being Chiquita. If you know Chiquita bananas with the woman on them, that still exists now under a different name. So it still exists today. United Fruit Company owned the land this was Cold War, by the way. Okay, so communists versus U.S. right?
Fidel
Everyone,
Castro.
whatever. Yes. So you're just naming communists.
No, wasn't he in charge during that time?
Yes, but probably not in Guatemala. Okay. You look so scared.
Bay of Pigs invasion.
Yes.
Oof. I'm on it. You sure I'm not the history major?
Oh my God. So, people in power in the U.S. had stakes in the United Fruit Company. So they're making a shit ton of money with these bananas, okay? And then this leader took over, who I can't remember the name of. This is where takes over in Guatemala, and he wasn't communist, but like he was doing good things that were also happened to be a little socialist. Like he was trying to give land back to the people. And in the process of that, he took the land away. He was starting to take land away from United Fruit Company. So the Americans got all in their like up in arms. They were really worried about it.
Quick interjection. United Fruit Company owned land in Guatemala.
Yes. Where there were
a lot of bananas.
Where they were growing these bananas and selling them, whatever. And making, I guess, a shit ton of profit. So the American senators were worried about their pockets essentially, but basically there were these insurgents that showed up in Guatemala who were American trained, who were basically threatening the leader who was giving land back to the people.
Right? So insurgents in
Guatemala.
But insurgents are known as, what's like a looser term?
I don't know, just
like people, maybe people who come in
who were just kind of like
from the government.
I don't really know how they explained where these people come from. Again, this story is like, I don't know all the facts. This was fucking 3 years ago, okay? I don't remember any of this shit. I have a bad memory, okay? Anyways, it's more of a fun story at this point. No factual details. Most of this is loosely, this is like if I made a documentary, loosely based in reality. So basically the US like sent all these people in to kind of like cause havoc essentially within Guatemala. And the leader of Guatemala, who was giving the land back to the people, he was like, oh, like what do I do? So he goes to the US, not realizing this is the US's fault in the first place. And he was like, hey, can I get weapons from you guys to deal with these people? And the US was like, nope. Because of course, because this was part of their whole plan, because they were trying to get him out of power so they could, keep their whole little fruit company business going. And so then he was like, fuck, well, I guess I have to go to fucking Soviets, because it's the Soviets, America, right? Those are the people with the weapons. So he went to the Soviets because the Americans said no. And because he went to the Soviets, the US was like, oh, well, now he's a communist. So then they went full in, took him out, and gave the land back to United Fruit Company. Which is just so fucked up.
How much land did the United Fruit Company have before the war?
I have no idea. I don't know most of the facts in this story. But
and they're still growing fruit in that land today.
I don't know.
All right. But theoretically, that could be a good movie.
That would be a great movie.
Even if it's
but
none of it's true.
I just think it's like maybe half of that is true.
Yeah.
I just think it's fascinating. Like a story like that, I had no idea that things like that were happening and that the US had that kind of like any sort of I don't know. I also learned that they meddled. I did a research project on this. They meddled in the elections in Chile for a long time to make sure that communist leaders weren't coming into power. But then when the Russians meddled in the Trump election, right, it was like, whoa, which of course I don't want that. But it is kind of ironic, like the context of history to be like, oh, I guess everyone's meddling. Do you see what I'm saying?
There's so much shit happening. Government drama. Yes. Everywhere in the history books,
everywhere in the history of the world. So I just found it super interesting because obviously you don't learn that those kind of a little bit like more
niche that you'd learn.
Niche and a little, dare I say it, anti-American history.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's not making the US look good.
Well, then you'd probably have to think that a lot of other countries kind of have those type of history books as well.
That they don't. What do you mean?
Like you can't be seen as anti wherever you're
probably.
from.
Yeah, exactly. So I found it cool to do history and learn some stuff that I don't think most people are aware of.
Books.
It's a little off the books because these academics, of course, don't give a shit whether it's, you know what I mean? And they're liberal, so they're probably a little bit against the government anyways in some ways. So it was just interesting to learn certain things that maybe don't shed the US in the best light. Yeah, but it's and of course I'm not like the US sucks, but I am like, oh, well, that's interesting. I had no idea that. I'm not going to learn that in a government sanctioned US history class.
Did your major help towards your career or your life anyway after college?
I think I have a theory that writing history papers made me better at stand-up in the beginning because I think I figured out. I think I realized that a paper, you present facts. No, you present an argument and then you give examples for that argument and then you take it somewhere that's even more extreme.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel with jokes it's similar where you present a premise, you say hey, this is weird, and then you explain why it's weird, you show why it's weird, and then you're like, what if this weird thing happened somewhere else? And you take it one step further. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's like weirdly like kind of related. I think writing history papers probably like making a logical argument with evidence is just like helpful in general, I think. So I think it helped a little bit.
And now here you are, but you're not teaching kids history.
I'm not teaching
You're only
kids
teaching them
history.
writing and math.
And of course, if I do, it's like I don't remember any of the facts.
I think this is actually a great way to wrap up the pod. What do you think you'd get on the SATs if you took it today? And have you taken it recently?
I'd take it.
And how long does that motherfucker take? 4 hours, if I remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If I took the SAT.
Yes, out of 1,600.
Oh, my math is so bad. I only do the verbal, like
the reading
English
comprehension.
Reading. Yeah. I don't do I don't touch math or science. So you're saying I have to take it tomorrow?
Wait. So
I don't do, yeah. I don't do
Oh
any
my
of that.
God. I feel like that was a pretty big part that we left out.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. It's just so my life. I forget that that's weird.
You only teach 800 points of it.
Yeah. And then they have another tutor. The agency will like set them up with a tutor for verbal and for the science math.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if I took it, like, let's say I had to take it tomorrow.
SAT.
I would genuinely, like the science. Oh, wait. No, we're not doing science because, okay.
It's just writing and math.
It's just writing math. So the math I would get a 0 on, probably.
All right. Yeah, I bet. You wouldn't actually get a 0. What do you think you'd get?
Quite honestly, I think I'd get an 800.
You'd get like a 600, 650 in math?
Dude, I think it would be somewhere. I think it'd be like 300.
Stop. Well, what did you get on the actual one
I don't
when
remember.
you took it?
I don't remember.
You don't remember your SAT score?
No.
Really?
I took the SAT and the ACT.
And you remember your ACT score?
And I remember my ACT score because it was better, and that's the one.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
easier to remember.
Right.
I got a 34 on the ACT, which is pretty good. But
that's wild.
But I also had extra time for some reason.
Yeah, I did too.
Because I was slow. So I think I had an advantage over students who like didn't have the ability to test for it. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Like, because my parents were like, you should really do that. And they like put the money towards that. And I don't think every kid has the opportunity to test for extra time and be considered for it. So like I got a 34, but it's like, if I've been taking it like, just like within the regular standard amount of time, I do not think I would have gotten a 34.
What do you think now you'd get on the reading and comprehension? Since that's what you're tutoring.
I would get like probably like one question wrong on the whole thing, probably. Yeah.
Out of how many?
I don't know. How many questions are there? There's like 60 questions on the verbal, and then there's 40 questions on the, God, I'm messing this up. 40 questions on the reading. I think I'd get like 1 or 2 wrong on that whole thing.
Do you think you get 99 out of 100?
I think I could get 99 out of 100.
Wait, I think you
Or
gotta
two.
You should do like a little video on it.
That would be
and do a time lapse.
That'd be so lame.
I think that'd be chill.
You think people would watch that?
I'd watch it.
Really?
I would go to the end and see how.
You would skip. This is literally being made for you, and you would watch it. Like my audience is planning on skipping it.
It's just like made for me. Oh my God. That's funny. But that's very impressive. Truly.
I mean, yeah,
99
but
out of 100.
Yeah, but
so what would
I do it all the time?
What would mess you up though? Because I think that for me, when I was taking the SATs, it was like all about focusing on the reading comprehension. And like if I really wanted to get the question right on the reading comprehension, I'd read the thing 4 times. But I would never read that thing 4 times. So that's why I would get it wrong. What do you think would stop you in that particular point?
There's just some questions where it's like I'll have them with students where the question they get it wrong, and then we look at it and I go,
and you're like, no, you're right.
That's stupid. I go, you're right, that's stupid. So there's normally there's one question on each one where I'm like, It's never more than one normally, but there's always like one where I'm like, I could see how it could have been the other. Not that the answer that's right is correct, or sorry, isn't correct, but the other answer is like relative. I'm like, that's the same answer. Some of those questions where it's like, what did the author mean by blah blah blah, and then it's just like it's a little. Reading like interpretation of a passage is a little subjective, so I think it's impossible. I think it's very hard to get unless you are the person who wrote that thing. You know what I mean? It's like how can you get every question right when it's a little subjective?
Have you had any students? Sorry, I said I was wrapping up, but not yet. You're
so fascinated by this, and I don't think anyone else is.
What do you mean? Has any have you had any students that have like gotten in trouble with the SATs that you know of?
What do you mean?
Like maybe
like
they
cheated?
or they got the test before or some shit like
no,
because it's locked up in the Princeton Review or something.
Yeah, no, I haven't had that happen. Also because they're getting tutored by me, so like I'm hoping they're not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna have to fucking cheat. The plan is that they've been prepped well enough so they don't need to cheat.
What? So you think that they get a perfect score? No, everybody loves a little bit of extra juice.
Yeah. Little cheat juice.
So you've never had any like the cops come to your crib and be like, we heard you took part 2C of the Princeton Review. I imagine that it's just going to be locked in now. Yeah, the fact that it's also online. Like now, probably,
SAT police.
Maybe a few people will learn to hack into the SAT. While
oh my god, you know what I forgot about?
A little bit.
Did this happen for you? When I took the SAT, there'd be memes about the questions the next day on Instagram.
No,
like
that people was
would make
my time.
so people would make memes about
after
like
my time, I should say.
Yeah.
Before
you're actually 5 years old. That was actually before my time.
A Ted Button, right?
You did really well for a 5-year-old.
I appreciate that. Battle of the Bulge, cut.
Yep.
Go ahead.
What was I gonna say? They make memes out. So like a question was like, Sally has 3 apples, blah blah blah, and the next day I'd be like, that bitch Sally. I don't know what the memes would be. I can't remember.
Oh, because everybody for the most part takes it like
the
3
same test.
Yeah, 3 separate
So then the next
times.
day I remember I'd go on like on Facebook and people would be like making all these funny memes about all the questions. So that's why the SAT is all about community, kids. You should hire me as a tutor.
And so is life.
And so is life. And life is the ACT.
Life can be known as a test. Right? Is that what you mean?
No.
What do you mean?
No, I don't know. I just wanted to ruin it.
Julia, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Before we get out of here, we're popping up your Instagram. Please let us know where we can find you and what exciting you've got coming up comedy-wise.
I'm doing 20 in Atlantic City this Friday.
So that's very exciting.
If you're in Atlantic City this Friday.
Wait, oh my God. Well, because we might be releasing it past
next Friday. Then never mind. Follow me.
You posted on your IG,
I posted
correct?
on my IG, so just come out to a show.
Nice. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.